Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sanderlanche podcast. This week, we are talking about Rhythm of War, chapters 3 through 6, wherein it's kind of hard the way the structure of these chapters is working now. There's a lot of stuff cutting between characters, so I'm just going to kind of cover it as generally as I can here. Navani talks a lot about her ship, which is really awesome. The ship is very cool. She gets a little frustrated with people not letting her run her ship the way that she wants. Dalinar uses some sweet perpendicularity, Stormfather magic stuff to keep them all fueled with Stormlight. Kaladin and Co. fight a lot of, I guess they're called the Honored Ones. I don't remember what they're called. We'll get into it here in a minute. But anyway, we find out that they like to have a little bit of an honorable fight, go one-on-one. We get Kaladin fighting somebody that he's a fuse that he's fought several times before and has now started to enjoy it, which is a little weird. Moash shows up for a brief minute and gets Navani super pissed off, and us, I would think. And we have a little bit of Shallan getting more covert, and we get a little more insight into the situation on the Shattered Plains with Iali and the remnants of the Sons of Honor. So, here with me this week is
Dak,
Jamie,
and Data.
We're all back together again, and we're talking about these wonderful chapters, so hold on to something, everyone. The Sanderlanche is about to begin.
So wonder in the weave, so many forks upon these roads. For a burden that is shared is much easier to bear. We will not fall to despair this darkest day. Whatever comes our way, whatever paths we follow, I will share your pain, your laughter and your sorrow. And should we prove ourselves, lose ourselves, nothing's gonna send us astray.
So since I didn't have it last week, I'm going to mention it now. The song for this book is Whatever Comes Our Way, which is I believe that was the Baldur's Gate 3 song that Miracle of Sound did. So that's the one for this book, in case you didn't figure it out from last week. But yeah, we did a whole 4 chapters this time. Pretty meaty section of text. What did you guys think of these 4 chapters?
and this book's just come out the gate swinging. A lot of action, and a lot of cutting between characters here, there, everywhere. It's just like, I wasn't prepared for this at the start of the book. Action was really cool. I like seeing that the fuse that they're fighting. It's like they've almost fallen into a friendly rivalry with them. Well, not friendly, but like Joe said, it's kind of the honorable. Oh yeah, we've found a common ground with these things. Like, you let one of ours go, we'll let one of yours go, sort of thing. Although, I had me going when Sigzil got speared. I'm like, don't you dare take Sigzil from me. Like, I'm not about that. The Shallan stuff was pretty cool. I like seeing, even though we haven't actually seen her yet, like Iali is like what she's been up to. I think it's really cool just to get more on her. The boat, the big barge, is like, that's pretty neat. I like that Navani is overseeing all these technological advancements, and like the ship guy is like, this is going to put me out of business. And she's like, well, no, it's not. The amount of energy required to make this thing work is phenomenal. Like, we're still going to need boats, but it's cool. It's like she's formulating almost a little industrial revolution. And I loved, as much as annoyed as I am to see him back, I loved the moment where she sees Moash and it's like, okay, good. We all know who he is now. It's not a case of, Kaladin didn't tell anyone why Moash ran off.
Mm-hmm.
He's back, and Navani clocks, that's the man who killed my son. So it's like, she's just as pissed as we are to see him back, but for a good reason. So I'm glad that, we've got this. Although then he didn't turn up again in the chapter, so I'm like, what are they winding up for? Because it's like, this really was one long action sequence. I'm like, oh wow, I'm enjoying it, but it's a lot of chapters just at the start of the book. It's just like, there's one big battle. Like, I wasn't expecting that. Not that it's bad, I was not prepared.
Yeah, a lot of people, when the book came out, talked about how it feels, and I think Brandon even confirmed that that's kind of what he was going for, is that it feels like we're getting kind of a little Sanderlanche at the beginning of this book of whatever story was happening in the year that we took between books, and now it's like we're getting this rapid cut, this big battle, the kind of stuff that we're used to seeing at the end of the book.
Yeah. And it works. It's good. Like this is wartime. They've been fighting this war for a while, so it's cool to show. Yeah, this is what life is now. So I think it's a good way just to build the feeling of what you're going for in the book.
Yeah, true facts. True facts. It's war. What are you gonna do?
Yep.
This is editing room data. Hopping in really quick to give you guys a little information up front. Everything sounded great when we were recording this week, actually. But in the editing room, there's some sort of like floating problem in the record. You hear it a little bit in Joe's track towards the end of the episode, and you hear it every once in a while in Dak's track in the middle of the episode. But the real victim here was Jamie's opening. What did she think of these chapters? She had a long discussion, a lot of great points. In the record, almost completely inaudible. I tried to save a couple of little bits where you could pretty much make out what she was trying to say, but the vast majority of it was just unintelligible. So, sorry about the audio issues on this one. I tried everything I could to fix them up some, and you were definitely getting shorted a bit on Jamie's perspective here. Just wanted to let everyone know up front. Back to the show.
Yeah, look, mini show is definitely a way to put it, and I guess like what we're before, right? It's kind of the middle chunk of what will be the overall Stormlight series, I guess. So yeah, it kind of makes sense to have something pretty eventful happening. I like that we've sort of seen a little bit about where most, if not all, of our main characters like are and where they're up to, even if we haven't actually seen them on page. We kind of know where they are and what they're doing, which is a bit of fun. I do enjoy that. Shallan of the three of them have got a handle on how the three of them operate. It definitely feels smoother to now, and I feel less anxious about it. It's like this poor girl who needs help. It seems like there's a bit of a handle on it now, which is nice, and how they can use that with that. Glad we're coming back to Islay. You know, she was. I mean, I feel like we all knew she was up to something, but didn't really know what. So that's coming back to see all these bits of storylines left off, and maybe we'll address Adelon's murder of Sadius at some point outside the people who already know.
Yeah, Islay has been sort of a dangling thread for a while now, and so it is good to see them addressing it. I agree. Also, what you said about the Shallan and Vale and Radiant really struck home for me, because it is stressful, like in the previous book when Shallan is like fragmenting and you don't know how it's going to go, and so seeing that they've reached some sort of equilibrium, like cohabitating in this body or whatever, is at least a little bit of a relief. I think.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully it continues that way for all of them.
Yeah, is it going to get better? Is it going to get worse? Who knows?
So yeah, these chapters were super fun. A lot of quick cuts, like everybody kind of talked about. It's like we're having a mini Sanderlanche right at the beginning. It's fun though. It's like catching up with your friends after a long time. You know, we it's been about a year or something book wise, and so it's like finding out like, oh, look what they're up to. Oh, look, they're in the middle of this. It honestly reminds me of Final Fantasy 16. There's like a big time jump in the middle of the game, and you're like, oh, they're in the middle of something else. I think that's probably like one of the first Final Fantasies where there's a time jump like that. But yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed all of the information. The stuff with Shallan and Islay is very interesting. The fight, you know, kind of this weird honor system they have between them and the Fused, and then the fact that right at the end of the chapter section that we read today, they're like, that Fused didn't like that other Fused. They weren't being honest. So like, he let Kaladin go fight, or the Fused let Kaladin go fight that other Fused. I thought that was interesting. So there's obviously like some divergence between whatever, I don't know if we're going to call them orders or whatever, of these Fused types. And so yeah, I'm interested to kind of like dive into that. With the name like Rhythm of War, you would think this book is like primarily a war book. So if that's the case, hopefully there's lots of action-packed sections. But yeah, great start to the book, fast-paced and fun.
Yes, like you all have said, very fast-paced beginning here. And I mean, we're often in these books. We're like, hey, it's been a while since there was some action. Let's get some action going. And so they're not making you wait for it in this one. Definitely a benefit there. Oh, I was gonna tell you. You talked about in the intro, like they're called the Heavenly Ones, or the Flying Fused.
That's right, Heavenly Ones. I read it so many times, but like I was very tired when I read, so I couldn't remember the Heavenly Ones.
Yep. All of the fused groups seem to have names like that, or similarly styled. So we may find out some more of them in this book, I think. But yeah, that one fuse seems kind of like an asshole. Even the other fused is like, ugh, this fucking guy. Like, Kaladin's in the middle of a fight, and he tries to, like, sneak in there at one point, and then Kaladin dodges away, and he's like, he was paying attention. Damn it, I'll have to go and hide and come back later.
Yeah, what a jerk.
As opposed to all the other fused, who are just super nice dudes. Oh, I also wanted to mention, you talked about, there's a large section at the beginning that talks about Navani's ship, because this is where we're first encountering it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember, we had a Navani notebook page in the previous book that was like kind of her initial sketches of this ship, which were, she says in this section, they were a bit more fanciful than what they ended up going with. But in case you don't remember, here's the page of her original drawings. And the note in like women's script on this thing says, too fanciful? Ha. Ask Rushu how to keep the mast from ripping off. And then at the bottom is Yasna's favorite.
Yeah. I mean, for sure.
Why is that Yasna's favorite?
For sure, I like the way that they look. It reminds me of like airship designs from, again, like Final Fantasy, but like I can understand that it might be a little too difficult, especially when they've never dealt like actually used this technology before. It makes more sense to just have like a flying platform with multiple decks.
Yeah, and that's the first thing we get in this week's section is from Navani's notebook, the fourth bridge, and it's really just like a big box kind of that people can fit inside.
Yeah, it's like they started, all right, this is going to be a ship, so let's make it a ship-based design. And they actually tried building like, well, this isn't working, let's go simpler.
Yeah.
Yeah, so instead of being like a Final Fantasy airship, it's more like a gummy ship from Kingdom Hearts, is what you're saying.
A little bit, yeah. Let's see. I was going to read off, so I was going to translate some of this women's script for you since we're starting into the thing. So we start with that sketchbook page of some different views of the fourth bridge, and it's all women's script that Navani has made her notes in. The fourth bridge is not as pretty as my fanciful designs, but it is thrilling to see the ship coming together. The final build follows these designs with some changes my engineers suggested. It says cutaway showing levels below the main deck for carrying people and supplies. Kaladin's old bridge embedded in the deck. Possible design for next iteration of sky carriage. Main entrance works like a drawbridge. I hope fans will lessen some of the horizontal load. Maybe add soulcast crystal over the top. Stairs might fold up into a table to make space. Latest test shows we need 4 fins instead of 2 wings. So some of those are about the smaller little like one-person pod looking thing that you see in the sketches.
It still doesn't look very aerodynamic. Like it's just flat at the front. Like
yeah, you're not wrong. Maybe they don't have a good concept of aerodynamics.
I guess.
Having never had an airship of any kind.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Our first chapter is the fourth bridge. And we find out, I really like these epigraphs where she's describing how you capture the spren. And so we found out in the previous sections, you have to attract the spren to the gemstone with something that it likes. And then the trickiest step is this one where you have to suck the stormlight out of the gemstone. And that grabs the spren somehow. It's like creating a vacuum almost, I guess. And she says in one of the later ones, it's like similar to the effect of pressure differential. So that's how they capture sprens. And apparently the trick is how you remove the stormlight. Different people have different ways that they do it, and they're all very secretive so that no one steals their stuff. Of course, the easiest way would be to have a Larkin, but I mean, they're almost entirely extinct. So no wonder Navani was so interested in when Risen showed up with hers.
It's like, I can capture so many spren with this.
I did like how much of this week's chapters tied into the novella that we read as well. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Definitely good that we read that first, right? Yeah.
It's like you had a plan or something.
It's more like Brandon had a plan, but yes, I will take some credit. So yeah, Navani is standing on her ship, looking out over the world, and I love that like her scholars, at least one of them is like, please stop like craning over the side. Can you not maybe get lashed down so you don't fall off? Maybe with 2 tethers, that would be nice. And he even tries to appeal to Dalinar, like, please, will you? He said he or she. I don't know.
I was fully waiting for it just to be like, oh, yeah, like Lopen stuck my feet close to the side. I'm good.
Oh, that could totally be. That would have been hilarious, actually. Oh, it's a she. Velet is a she, and she even tries to go to Dalinar, like, can you talk some sense into her? And Dalinar's like, whatever, it's her ship. I think that she'd throw me off if I tried to mess with her. And it is called the Fourth Bridge and has the original Bridge 4 built into it, which is kind of neat. And they've got a scribe from one of the Windrunner squads. It is Ka, who we have met before. Although last time we saw her, I think she was still serving alcohol in a bar.
Absolutely no memory of that. Was she the one who got Shallan, like the Horn-Eater stuff?
No, this is like Kaladin and Moash and the crew. They went to this bar because one of the guys in the bridge crew had a girlfriend who worked there. I believe that was the time Kaladin met with like Graves and company for the first time.
Yeah, I remember that bit. I remember. So she was okay. Gotcha. Man, that was forever ago.
It has been a good long while, and I'm trying to remember who is it. They may be like married, or because previously Kaladin was needing to look into family residences because one of the guys might be about to get married, and I'm trying to remember who it is that is in a relationship with her. They may be married by this time. Oh, that's gonna bug me. Is it like Leighton? I don't know. I'm gonna have to find this, but maybe not right this second. Ka. Oh, she's married to Pete. So
I barely remember Pete. So whatever.
I guess if they're not technically married yet, then that is a spoiler. But there you go. But now she works.
Now I know that Pete, whoever that is married.
Ka, whoever that is.
Not Pete.
And so apparently, back on the Shattered Plains, there's like a bunch of chulls attached to big weights or whatever with gemstones on them, so they can just pull them back and forth, and that makes the ship move. And thanks to an unexpected discovery about aluminum by Rushu and our buddy Huio, they figured out how to move the ship. Like the chulls can just like pull the weights to one end, and then they flip the crystals around or whatever, and then they can pull it back the other way, and the ship keeps moving in one direction. So, like Jamie said, it's very much linked to what we saw in Dawnshard. And Navani gives us some more of how, like, yes, this is her ship, it's her idea, but she's not really like a scientist. She was just facilitating the people who really did the work. That's the way that she always kind of thinks about herself.
How can she not, after that's what she was told by Gavilar constantly? It's like everybody else around you is good, you're not.
Right? Yeah. It does tie into what we saw in the prologue, huh? So they land, and the Edge Dancers start flying out to help heal people, but also to get the refugees on board. And the last one is a lanky girl who seemed to have grown an entire foot over the last year. And while all the Edge Dancers like just glide gracefully, Lift shoots out of the ship and trips over a rock that all the others had dodged and falls down.
Damn.
I feel for him.
Lift used to be like the savant at this thing, and now she's like, extra height.
Well, Lift has never been able to do it like on her feet very well. She was always like on her knees scooting around. So
not super graceful.
Which I guess sucks to be an Edge Dancer if you're don't have some natural grace. But yes, also puberty. That doesn't help. And then somebody mentioned, I think maybe Joe mentions, that we have the whole conversation with Kamakal, Queen Fen's husband, and he's an old Thalen Navy man, and he's kind of wistfully thinking about how flying ships will basically make his entire life's work outdated. And she's like, no, we still need like regular ships. And he's like, okay, but have you thought of stuff like one of these ships flies over a regular ship and just drops rocks and sinks it? Like there's nothing anyone could do about that. It's kind of a major change.
Yeah. Look, technology happens, but it's not like AI. It's still a long way off from like affecting him.
I guess it depends on how quickly they can like mass produce this stuff. Right now, it does seem like it's a whole lot of work just to move one ship, but maybe they can refine
Yeah,
it.
they got like what, a dozen teams back at Earthera just working on the winches and shit to try and get
Yeah.
this thing like in the air. It's like
Yeah.
it's gonna be a while before you can have like a whole fleet of these things.
And like, do they leave some kind of guard team behind for those people operating it? Because you imagine like the kind of sabotage potential. It's like all those people are just floating up in the sky.
Mm, that's true. Although apparently the enemy doesn't know about this, so hopefully they wouldn't know to try to sabotage it yet.
Well, we've just heard that. I mean, we hear later on in the section that apparently there's somebody close to Dalinar that's reporting to the Sons of Honor. So
True. Yep.
And if they're operating out on the Shattered Plains, if they were doing any like scouting or anything, surely they'd be like, "What is this child moving back and forward, back
Right?
and forward? Like, it seems weird. Why don't we attack that?"
That's strange. Yeah.
There's just this one random Chol farmer just standing there with like the stalk of grass in his mouth, going, "Oh yeah, that's old Bessie. She just likes going back and forth. Yeah."
yeah, that's the way she lives her life. I'm not going to stop her.
As long as she's having a good time,
Yeah. Otherwise, I can't get her to do a lick of work unless I let her do it.
Let her have her evening stroll. Yeah. I also love that it's from Navani's perspective that we meet or we see the meeting of Kaladin and Lirin and Dalinar. And she's like, Kaladin and his dad don't really look anything alike, but just from the way they like comport themselves, she's like, "Oh, I get it. Like I see the intensity here, the
There it
faintly
is.
judgmental gaze."
Wow, I didn't know anger was just hereditary.
Oh, you're not. It is. Let me tell you.
And also, dude doesn't even bother to like bow to Dalinar or anything, and she's like, "Yeah, this feels like somebody related to Kaladin."
Yeah, that's Kaladin.
And Dalinar's like, Lirin Stormblessed, it's an honor. And Lirin's like, "Wait, what? Storm who now?" And he's like, "Oh, I assume that you're going to take your son's house name since he's been like made into a nobleman with his own like lands and stuff." And Lirin has no idea what anyone is talking about. Kaladin has not been sharing this information.
Doesn't sound like his father would approve of it anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he doesn't like the fighting, but I feel like he isn't going to disapprove of his son becoming like a landed person. It might even be like, "Oh, we have like a family town to take care of now,"
I guess, but like to me, it seems like one of those things where his dad would be like, "I don't care that you got this. It's how you got it. It's like you didn't get this the right way."
Maybe.
Absolutely. He's like, "You got this through violence. I want no part in this. I'm going to go live in my cave."
Yeah, my cave.
Exactly.
You're not invited.
And then Lirin's like, "So thank you guys and everything, but Bright Lord Colin, how long are my people going to be stuck in this thing?" Just right to the point.
It's like, my dude, they are here to rescue you, and you just feel like, how long we got to be on this rescue boat?
A little bit grumpy. And Dalinar's like, "Well, it takes several weeks to fly to the Shattered Plains, but we're going to bring stuff on board, like blankets and other supplies. In fact, you guys are going to help us figure out what we need to equip these transports with, so it'll be nice." And Dalinar's like, "Yeah, why don't you go and inspect the accommodations, get ready for your people?" And Lirin's just like, "Yeah, all right, whatever." Doesn't bow or offer any sort of respect as he takes off.
It's like, okay, I get it. I'm dismissed. I've done this many times.
Yeah, probably he has plenty of experience with Light Eyes dismissing him. Yeah.
Don't forget, he's lived under Rashon for what, 7 years now. After their particularly rocky start, he absolutely is just used to being crapped on.
And then Kaladin has to break to Dalinar the bad news that he was spotted, and they've already had a fight with the Fused. Probably more are on the way. And Dalinar's like, "Well, shit. I hope that this wouldn't come up, but obviously that would have been too convenient." And Kaladin's like, "Yeah, I'm running low on light. If you could do your thing." And Dalinar just reaches out and like touches Kaladin's chest, and the air like warps, and Kaladin and his spheres are rejuiced with Stormlight, which is kind of an
super
OP
handy.
ability.
Wish we'd had this a long time ago.
Yeah. For this war, when Radiants are like your main weapon, yeah, very useful. And they still haven't figured out how to juice up the pillar in Earthera, which comes up, and now Navani's like, "I think we're coming at it the wrong way, but I don't know." Apparently, the spren of the tower is called the Sibling, or it lived in the tower. It's unclear. A spren on the level of the Night Watcher or the Stormfather and capable of making a bondsmith. So there's our third bondsmith spren. You got the Night Watcher, you got the Stormfather, and you have it's named the sibling, we're told. So
Which kind of feels like, sibling 1, sibling 2, and other.
yeah, right? Like we couldn't come up with a better name.
Yeah.
Previously, it was like an unnamed sibling, and then it's like, no, it's the sibling. Okay, whatever. And the sibling is dead or maybe sleeping. It's not really clear.
So this raised a question for me. Then, so the Stormfather is like the remnant of Honor's power. The Night Watcher we know is heavily tied to cultivation. So who the hell's the sibling belong to? Like that's not Odium's like leftovers, is it?
Right. If it's like inhabiting the Tower of Urithiru and it's on their side, it seems weird that it would be from Odium, but yeah, who knows?
But yeah, but like all right, we've already got Honor and cultivation ticked off. Is there someone else here?
Right? Yeah. These are excellent questions that you're supposed to be asking at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. I hate when you say that.
It's not my fault you come up with good questions, And I love that while they're in the middle of thinking and talking about this, there's just a voice that's like, so you guys learned to fly, huh? It's crazy. And they turn around and somehow the mink has made his way up onto like the command deck, despite there being guards and stuff all over the place. And he goes, hey, your flying boy says you got a place for me here. Don't know what I think of serving the Alethi. I spent most of my life trying to stay away from them, and you specifically, Blackthorn, no offense. And that's when Navani's like, oh, this is the mink. Okay. And Dalinar's a little magnanimous about it. He's like, I find wisdom in men who knew to avoid the person I once was. But like our past squabbles are not important now. He's like, squabbles. So that's the Alethi word for you. Sorry. My mastery of your language is lacking. I've been mistakenly referring to your actions as raping and burning my people.
It's a lot of sass going on right now.
Hey, he's a Herdazian, man. They don't.
Yeah.
They tell it like it is.
That, and I'm sure I think Dalinar has become a lot more diplomatic over the last while, having to prove to so many people that he's like, nah, I'm not a dickhead anymore. Please join me.
But at the same time, what you did to these people. Probably don't downplay it, calling it a squab.
I mean, yeah. On one level, yes, you're absolutely right. You did some horrible things to these people. On another level, I get Dalinar being like, look, our two countries like have fought back and forth a lot. This is the entire world being attacked. It like our stuff doesn't compare to this. So I kind of see both ends.
Yeah, the game has changed. Yeah.
And the mink agrees to talk to you guys. We'll talk about me joining up if you go and recover my men who are hiding in 4 separate locations between here and Herdaz, the rest of my army. And Dalinar's like, okay, we'll do it. And Navani's here like, I thought he said this was my ship. He's just going to fucking make deals about where it goes. I see how it is. Didn't even ask. Freaking husbands, man. What are you going to do?
Yeah, we're the worst.
And then Lynn shows up, says 3 full flights of fused are coming in. So it's time to fight. Then our next chapter, Architects of the Future, we get more of Navani talking about the methods that they use to, like, everyone hides their methods, but she's like, hey, as an offering here, I'm going to tell you how I do it. And it seems like weirdly complicated. You need a bunch of empty gemstones brought close to the infused one to slowly absorb from the small gemstone. And that's how you get the light out. So that sounds like you got to keep the sprint around for a while to get it sucked in with that. And she even includes like a plea here to the Thalans. If Her Majesty would please repeat my requests to their guild to share this secret with us. It's a vital effort. It's a vital import to the war effort. So we need to make fabrials. You guys are hiding like the better ways to do this. Can you please tell us? We're allies now. And we cut to Shallan, or Radiant. Radiant, it takes over as they wake up from being drugged and kind of takes in the situation. They've got a sack over their heads. They have one head. There's 3 of them, but they have one head. Which sounds horrific when I say it like that, but anyway. And so we find out here that she's after the Sons of Honor, and they've taken her to a secret location where they hold their meetings, which is down in the chasms.
I love that, like, the previous books, we've had Amram is the most honorable, greatest person ever, which is what makes Kaladin's quest to prove, no, he's awful, so much harder. And even in the last book, it's like, oh, we need Amram. He's like, Like he's such a good general and everything. And then in this one, it's like straight out the gate, it's just like man, the Sons of Honor really went to crap after Amram took over. This guy sucks.
It's been going downhill ever since Gavilar died, you know?
Yep. It's like now that he's dead, we can finally all just admit that, you know what, Amram just sucked.
We don't have to keep up the performance anymore. Yeah. But they think Iali has taken over the Sons of Honor, and that they're planning to like seize the Oathgate on the Shattered Plains and try to declare their own little kingdom, basically. And the problem is they suspect this. They're not gonna attack Iali without actual proof, especially given that Adolin murdered her husband. So it's like we don't want it to keep looking worse, the things that we're doing. And you got to remember, they're married now. Shallan is officially part of House Kolin, so what she does reflects on them.
Oh yeah, I forgot that happened.
So
Me
they're
too.
having to take the long way around this. She's trying to infiltrate the society.
Yeah, they got married. They kind of just shoved it at the end of the last book, right?
Yeah, it's like, oh, by the way, they're married. Because her brother showed up and kind of overshadowed the actual wedding itself.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We, in fact, did not see the wedding itself. It was just like they're getting married later, and then they were married. That was, like I mentioned, that was the show that they put on at the first World Hopper Ball at the convention. It was the wedding of Adolin and Shallan, so it's pretty cool. They're not doing the ball this year. They just announced they're going to try to do like an after party instead. That's kind of more of a relaxed come and go sort of thing. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Yeah, they pull the thing off, and she realizes, yeah, we're in one of the chasms, and they're all wearing like these hooded robes, and I love that she's like, did they hire someone to do all of these? They were like, yeah, we want 20 identical mysterious robes sewn with arcane symbols, therefore parties.
That's probably the best comic relief in one of these books so far. Just like the thought of being like, hey, can you make 20 identical robes and make them all look like this?
It's for a party.
Yeah,
Party.
right.
A fancy party. It's not a secret society of any kind.
No.
Not a cult
banish them.
at all.
No, we're not undermining the now basically king Dalinar. Surely you don't think that's what we're doing. We're not doing that.
And
unless you
all
like
have on
that,
chest
and
the
then
word screw Dalinar. Why is that? Oh,
Yeah.
it's an ironic thing.
yeah, it's ironic. Unless you don't like Dalinar, and then that is what it is.
It's like a dodgeball with White Goodman. It's like I've got shackles like in the other room. Like, I'm kidding. Unless you're into that, in which case I do have those.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody.
I feel like, or Scott Pilgrim, I feel like I'm on drugs when I'm with you. Not that I do drugs, unless you do drugs. In which case I do all the drugs all the time.
Yeah.
So these people are going to initiate her into the Sons of Honor, and she has to swear to like help them return the heralds and oust the false king, the Blackthorn.
I really want to know what Stormfather thinks of these people. He's like, I do not know them. I am not affiliated.
I almost feel like Stormfather wouldn't even care. Like, whatever. Humans do weird shit all the time.
Yeah, true.
There's a reference to somebody that we haven't heard a lot about. They say that her fake name is Shanasha, and they said, you have a fine name after the legacy of Shanaranok Elin, Herald of the Common Man. So that's one of the heralds that we haven't heard a lot about is Shanaranok.
So it's not like a different name for Ash. It's like a different.
No, this is a different.
It's a different thing.
I'm sure she'll turn out to be a secret character we've encountered before. Like, I don't know. There's a lady studying the spray and the fire.
Oh yeah, it was like an Ardent and her husband were studying making.
Oh, I was about to say maybe the person's an Ardent because they serve people, and then Data just said that person's an Ardent, so now I agree with Dak.
All right, calling it now. That was the name? Shanarush?
Shanaranach is what it says in here. But with all the heralds, there's a bunch of different versions of her name.
Or across the streams, it's like Shanaranash was actually the descendant of Shan Alariel somehow, even though she died.
That would be impressive, yeah.
Ooh.
And so Vale is a little bit disappointed to realize that the lady leading this she's like, I think that's Ulina. a member of Iali's inner circle, which means Iali won't be here. She sends Ulina when she's not coming.
Yes, do my bidding, person.
And these Sons of Honor guys are like, we facilitated the return of the Radiants. Did you ever wonder why they appeared all of a sudden? That was us. We totally did that.
Oh my god.
I love Shallan's inner monologue. I'd be like, they didn't do that. These
She's
guys
like,
are
Pattern.
dumb.
Pattern would have loved that lie.
So Shallan's like, I was there. You were not.
But yeah, Shallan is unimpressed. Like, this is the lie a drunken has-been tells at the bar to try to get another drink. More pathetic than interesting. Well, damn, all right.
Yeah.
It's just really not holding back on, you know what, these guys actually just suck.
Yep.
Try again, guys. Do better.
And Vale's like, oh, you guys are Radiants? And the man's like, no, we're something greater than that. But we're not going to tell you more until you, like, join the club.
Be impressed by us. Join our club.
And so they make her swear to, like, restore the heralds and the church and the Almighty. And she's like, yeah, sure, why not?
I so swear. Sure.
Swear to the true queen of Alethkar, Eli Sadius, which, where'd that come from? Like, why does she get to be queen? But whatever.
Because she's the head of the Sons of Honor now. That's why.
That statement is entirely false. She's not a queen, she's not a Alethkar, and since when is she a true? Since when is he a the?
When is he a the?
Yeah, she happily swears to all of these things, and the woman is like, see, if she'd been a Radiant, she couldn't have sworn a false oath. And Vale's like, oh my, bless your heart. No,
It's like, that's not how this works, but good try.
I love the groundwork that's gone into all of this beforehand. So like all these lies and devices and things. It's like, yeah, this is great.
Oh man, some good groundwork for sure. Agree. And then apparently we find out that Mraize also thinks Iali is dangerous. So like part of the reason she's here is the Ghostbloods also want to do something about what's going on.
And by want to do something, they want her dead.
Well, yeah, but you know that's usually what the Ghostbloods want, right?
Yeah.
Again, it's like, how bad do you have to screw up that not only does the king want you guys out of the picture, but so is with the secret societies. Like these guys are the bottom rung of the secret societies. Any other secret societies, just like, these guys suck. Get rid of them.
The Skybreakers are out here like losers.
They're the Yamcha of secret societies.
Yeah, they have like a party for secret societies. Like, who invited the Sons of Honor? Oh, for God's sake!
Oh God, guys, be quiet. If you be quiet, they'll think no one's home.
I've always thought that the worst of the secret societies was the one that Teft's parents belonged to. The Invisagers, they were called.
Yeah, now that you say that,
yeah.
that's pretty bad.
I guess it's hard to tell because we haven't actually met them properly. I just heard about them and even then only briefly. So
Yeah, true. I think Brandon said in a live stream or something when somebody asked him that somebody wanted to know if they were like a splinter group of the Sons of Honor because the Invisagers were trying to bring the Radiants back, which is kind of what the Sons of Honor were trying to do. And I think he's like, yeah, probably, or something. He indicated that might well be the case.
I always love when an author and creator of something that's very large is like, yeah, sure, maybe. That's fine.
Yeah, we'll go with that. There's a whole thing in his Dark Materials, like you got the demon, which is like part of someone's soul. And in the first book, they mention it's like, oh, it's like, yeah, you see it every so often. Someone's like soul is the same gender as them, and a fan goes, "Does that mean that person is gay?" And the author's gone, "Yeah, right."
I mean, I always just assumed that, yeah.
Yeah.
Although it's interesting when you mentioned that the Spren are often the opposite gender from the people that we see them with. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm trying to think if there's any.
Well, the one confirmed gay character we know is Drahe. Do we know his Spren at all?
I don't know if we even know he has a Spren yet.
No, we do. He was in the Fall of Alcar. He was in the city the whole time, and then he turned up alive at the end. Weren't Scar and Drahe both like full Radiance by the end of it?
We didn't see anything to show that. We theorized that maybe that's how they got out. Is that they?
Okay. I just assumed this whole time that they were full Radiance because they survive and save Elhakar's son.
Yeah, the only thing we saw when they showed up was like when Kaladin showed up, they did like the Bridge 4 salute, but we didn't see anything to indicate they had got Spren or anything.
Okay.
But it sounds like a lot of the original bridge crew has at this point. Even some, like I think Lynn probably has. It says I don't remember if it specifies in this chapter, but so there's a good possibility.
New ad campaign. Got Spren.
I'm trying to think if we know anyone already who's got a Spren of the different gender, because obviously Kaladin and Syl are opposites. Pattern and Shallan. Teft Spren was also a female. Lift Spren is a guy. I think that
Is
Oh,
Lopen
wait, no,
Spren
hang
a
on.
girl?
Open.
Lopen. I think Lopen Spren is a guy.
Okay.
Or is
yeah.
it a girl?
I mean,
I
that
feel like
would.
he's referred to him as a him.
I think he's referred to as him, and also that would be funny if like Lopen is like he thinks himself as a massive lady, or turns out he's just closet. It's okay, Lopen. You can you're safe.
Yeah, you're among friends, man. It's cool.
Yeah, man.
Anyway.
Makes me think of the Clerks cartoon. It's like, it's okay to be gay.
Yeah.
Clerks cartoon did so much great stuff.
I also thought that Gliss was made, or if that's true.
I think you're right. I
No.
think Gliss is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, they can have the same. Good call. I'd forgotten. Well, of course, Renarn's situation is all different in general, I guess. Like he's got a lot
He's
of
so
weirdness
different.
going on.
And yeah.
But it's revealed here by the Sons of Honor that they have someone they have connections to Dalhanar's inner circle. They're getting fed information about his plans. And Shallan's like, wait, what? That's a big deal. Okay.
They've already proven to be pretty terrible liars. Maybe they made it.
Okay, that's a fair point, actually. Yeah. But she's like, I have to do something to get this going now. And she goes, I'm not who you think I am. And that's the end of that chapter. So,
Who did we think you were?
right. Well, I mean, we know who they think she is. She's
No, I'm just kidding.
The merchant, but yeah, I don't know. Okay, so we cut back to Kaladin and Co. and their wind runners are rising into the air, ready for battle. And there is a bunch of these dudes now. We've got squads of wind runners and their squires. To the point that Kaladin's like, okay, so 3 flights, we're not going to need everybody. Squires beneath the rank of CP4, you drop down and guard the civilians. So they have a ranking system that I don't understand from that statement, but it also says that we've gotten information. We've learned much about the Fused from the Herald Ash. So they've got her and she's providing information. That's nice.
Yeah, that threw me. I thought she and Tal ran off during the battle.
At the end of the last book, we saw them heading towards the Oath Gate, and then there was somebody standing at the Oath Gate with pictures of them, and Yasna showed up, and Ash is like, hey, that's Midius's drawing style. Why is he giving people pictures of us?
I had forgotten.
3 flights would mean 54 fused, which is that even divisible by 3? Yes, it is. It's 18. Okay, so 18 fused is a flight. Good to know.
Oh man, 16 was right there.
And he's like, oh, I wonder if Lucy is there. I want a rematch. Lucy, if you guys recall, is the same one that Moash killed and then was very respectful of Moash and impressed by him. Or Leshwi.
So not someone we like, obviously.
I mean, she's honorable enough here.
I guess.
Yeah, but she rates Moash.
Kaladin has 300 windrunners, but only 50 full knights. And almost all surviving original members of Bridge 4 have got a bonded Spren by now. So, almost all. There's some Bridge 4 members who still don't have a Spren, but we're almost all up.
Yeah. I'm going to guess one of them's Rock.
Yeah, that's possible. He's not really interested in fighting.
Thereby depriving us of a Spren who turns into like a massive soup ladle.
That
Shard
would be great,
ladle.
actually.
All soup served with a taste divine.
Yeah. You will love food stirred by God, my friend.
But progress has slowed down or stopped, it says. There's lots of men and women ready to advance, but they're out of honor spren willing to bond a person at this point. Right now, they have 1 willing honor spren that doesn't yet have a bond. That's it. So that's not good. We've maxed out our windrunners. So the heavenly ones tend to break off and go for like one-on-one fights in small skirmishes, it says. Not always, but a lot of the time. And he kind of respects like the honorable way that they choose to fight. And there's Leshwi, ready to duel Kaladin again. I also love the note that it gave that like she died in the last battle, but that was from Cord shooting her with a big ass shard bow, so he doesn't get credit for that one. Good to know that Rock's daughter is out here. And then yeah, they have a big elegant flight through the air kind of fight. We won't go into like, you know, the punch by punch type thing, but it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I like the way that it was described. It wasn't, it wasn't overly bogged down, but it kind of, I feel like it was kind of more just inside Kaladin's head of like how he's feeling during the fight. So I enjoyed it.
Mhm. We do get a couple of interesting pieces of information, such as they have weapons with gemstones at the end that can suck stormlight out of you if they stab you with them. So that's not good for Radiance. The fight is everybody's fighting out here. There's Lopin. He's like, "You all right, Gancho?" And Kaladin's like, yeah, I'm fine. I can fight her if you want a breather. He's like, no. And the Fused want to get a better look at the airship, but fortunately, they've all the workings are hidden on the inside. So all you see from the outside is a big wooden box, basically. Oh, and at one point, Leshwi pulls off a really good move, and Kaladin crashes into the ground. He was outplayed on that one. And I love Syl appears, and she's like, "And don't you dare return!" She shouts as Leshwi like takes off to fight somebody else.
I don't have the book in front of me, and I can't remember. It's where like they get the whole. It's like you merely adopted the sky. I was born in it. Moment.
I don't see that, but it would make sense, kind of.
I remember that happens at some point in these chapters, and I thought, it's Bane.
Wasn't that more Kaladin's internal?
Yeah, a lot of this is Kaladin's internal.
Yeah, it could have been. He could have baned himself.
Yeah, he's like, I'm feeling inferior because this thing's ancient and has been flying in the sky for a long time.
Yeah, and he's kind of down on himself. Like, you could have caught her if you had been flying without me. And Syl's like, well, yeah, but I need you for the stabby part. Like, what can I do? Glare at her? And Teft lands. He's like, hey, are you okay? Are you sure? And Kaladin's like, I'm fine, damn it.
Is this when he's admiring the majesty of his beard?
Is there something about his beard in here? No, I'm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's like, yeah, Tef's beard looks so great, all stormlighty.
Scraggly
man.
normally, but now it's majestic.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a man thing to do, admire another man's beard.
He seemed divine, like a wise god from one of Rock's stories. Yep, there you go. Good for you, Teft. You deserve admiration.
I'm happy for Teft. He seems like he's turning things around. He's doing well, and like, good for you, Teft. I always liked you.
Yeah.
I'm still bitter that they gave Moash the shard blade instead of you way back when.
Yeah. He's got the moss fingers still.
Baby steps.
And so Teft ends this conversation. Are you sure you're okay? And he's like, I'd be better if you stopped asking. And then Teft takes off. So people are seeing that Kaladin, he's not quite all 100%.
Hey man, totally been there. I've got RBF, and people are like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, "I'd be a lot better if you shut up."
It's fine. It's just
you
my
have a really
face.
fish.
Resting bitch face is RBF.
Resting.
Or yeah, either that or I'm a dude, so I call it resting bastard face.
Fair.
Oh,
I was like,
man.
I have RBF. The Scar Band? Tell me more.
And then we cut back to Shallan, who's like, yeah, I'm totally not who you think I am. Shit, who am I? Radiant is in there like, I'm curious to see where this is going, actually.
I feel like for Radiant to say that, you're pulling out a fire here.
Yep. And so she's like, I have a hidden second business, copying schematics from the Kaladin Artifabrians. Like, you've heard about their new flying platform, right? Well, I have the plans, and I know how it works. And she's like, I'll share them with Queen Sadius. And they're like, okay, well, fine, we'll take you to her then. And she tries to play it off, and they're like, well, okay, fine, show us these plans. And she has to like light weave up some fake plans, basically. Or, okay, no, it says you trace the schematic on the piece of paper above this one and press very hard and leaves an indentation. So it's like a secret, hidden schematic.
It's still an illusion, though. She didn't actually have it.
Right. And then the guy's like, I can't make any sense of this. And it's like, yeah, because you're a dude. Like, what the? And then we find out that one of the other guys here is Red, because the section ends with, he's like, what now? This feels like trouble. And she's just thinking, like, don't break character, dude. So they'd gotten Red embedded in the Sons of Honor already, but his dark-eyed workman was not important enough to get real access, so they had to get somebody higher up. And then it's like, to arms, the Kaladin troops! And she's like, damn it. Adolin like saw what was happening and decided to take the group. Damn, missed my shot. I'm not throwing away my shot. Guess going to Hamilton. And then we cut back to Kaladin, who's fighting a different heavenly one now. Not as good as Leshwi is. And he manages to beat him, but he's like, if I kill him, like, what good does that do? He'll just be reborn again. No point in killing somebody else for no reason. And he just tells like, go. And just then that ribbon of red light comes out from the side and tries to get him, but Kaladin reacts super quickly and lashes himself away, and the little ribbon heads off again. Like, it was the guy was trying to like jump him when he wasn't looking. And then there's a weird little interaction with Lynn where she's like, hey, are you okay? You seem distracted. I don't want anyone stabbing you in the back. And he's like, what, now you care? It's like, dude, don't be a dick.
If there's anything Kaladin's not good at, it's relationships.
And he's like, man, everyone keeps checking on me. Like, are you behind this, Syl? She's like, what? That your team is considered enough to watch out for each other? No, that's your fault. Yeah. Sure. Okay.
Like, what? That you're a miserable bastard? No, they just notice.
They have eyes, Kaladin.
Yeah, right. He comes back to find Rashon talking to Dalinar and saying that there's like 2 people being held prisoner in the storm cellar of the manor. We can't leave them there. And Dalinar's like, I'll send an edge dancer to free them. And Rashon's like, no, I'll go with them, with your permission, of course. I know the layout of the building. And Kaladin's over here like, look at this fucking guy acting like a hero now that Dalinar's around.
I can't believe all the characters we've lost, and this asshole's still around.
I mean, that's fair, you know. And Syl chastens Kaladin. Stop being a stoomer. And he's like, what's a stoomer? I don't know. It's a word I heard Lift use. I'm pretty sure you're being one, though.
I thought she was trying to say boomer, and I was like, I don't think this makes any sense.
You know, Kaladin the boomer. And he has to go, fine, maybe Rashon has improved a little. Rock and Dabbit are here helping the refugees. Probably Dabbit is another one who hasn't bonded a Spren, it seems like.
I mean, he's still recovering. He's been through a lot.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying anything against the dude.
Yeah, the fact that he's back up standing is like brilliant in and of itself.
And then he sees Leshwi and Sigzil fighting, and he goes to check that out. And we get another page from Navani's notebook, which seems to illustrate like a Spren getting captured in a gemstone. That's kind of what it looks like to me, at least. Let me see what these words say. I didn't actually look at that before like I did the other one. Oh, this is about the Arnist method that she talks about using to get capture a Spren. Allow the Spren to inspect the gem, draw the stormlight out, pull the Spren into the gem, the Spren's trapped. It says, a pewter cage surrounding the gem can be adjusted by twisting rods hooked to eye bolts. The tighter the cage, the more heat the fabrial generates. So, all right, interesting. And our last chapter is a loose thread. Now that you've got a captured Spren, you can begin designing a fabrial. The wire house around the fabrial is called a cage, and it's how you control the device. Different metals, their Spren respond to different metals in different ways. That's interesting. We cut back to Shallan as Adolin and his men are attacking. The Sons of Honor have a secret way out, and she's like, no, take me with you. So they take her with them. They have a secret tunnel. Secret tunnel.
Through the chasm.
Yeah. Let's see. So they take her to the place where presumably Ialai is hiding. He had a fortress and an escape tunnel and all of this stuff. It's like Shallan had always viewed Sadeas as a blowhard, but what Vale saw was craftiness.
I can see it.
And then we find out that High Prince Thanadal had started his own little kingdom in the war camps. And then Ialai showed up, and suddenly Thanadal was found dead, supposedly knifed by a prostitute. Which led to Vama, the other High Prince who was not supporting Dalinar, fleeing the war camps in the middle of the night. So Ialai is the remaining power in the camps. That's cold. She co-opted the Sons of Honor, she has at least some army left, and is demanding tariffs from the trade caravans. And then she's escorted in to where Ialai Sadeas is sitting at a table. And Vale's like, okay, we found her. What are we going to do? Radiant says, get her to say something incriminating and bring her in. Vale, on the other hand, it says, didn't do this just for Dalinar. Didn't even do it because the Ghostbloods saw Ialai as a threat. Vale did it because the woman stubbornly continued to jeopardize everything Shallan loved. Vale intends to assassinate Ialai Sadeas. That's her vote, I guess.
Yeah.
Just to finish
very definitive. Like, I'm going to kill her.
At least they vote on these things. That's nice. And so then we cut back to Kaladin, who's watching Sigzil fight, and he's like, I can't help him. Like, we're doing this one-on-one thing. I can't break it. But, and Sigzil, he's a good fighter, but he's not one of the best. And then Sigzil gets speared in the chest. And this is what Dak was talking about. We're like, no, not Sigzil. We love Sigzil.
I did think they were very calm about what was happening to Sigzil at this point, and it was like, oh, maybe he'll be fine. I feel like it would have been a lot more dramatic if it was the end. Ah, good, it's not the end. Hooray!
Yeah. I mean, Kaladin does have a very dramatic, like, no, but he let one of them live earlier. They're going to let one of his guys live now. It's all very civilized. And Kaladin has to be like, no, drop your weapon and bow to her. Like, do a whole... And Sigzil doesn't understand, but goes along with it. Because this is how they do things, apparently, in the Heavenly Ones. Go back to the ship and sit out the rest of the battle. And he's like, okay, if you say so. And then Leshwi raises her spear, and it's time for them to fight again. And I love that there's... we cut back to Navani, and we're told that there's 15 people who don't want to leave. They're like, we'd rather stay here in the city than abandon our homeland. Like, stay here as servants to the fused, or the parchment, basically. The singers is what they're called. I gotta make myself do that correctly. Then we got Renarin hanging out nearby, healing people. And there's some discussion about, she thinks some about how he has this void spren that he's bonded to. Or at least an ordinary spren corrupted to the enemy's side. And none of them knew what to do about that, least of all Renarin. Which, and to be fair, like, she kind of notes here, none of them knew what they were doing. None of the Radiants understood what was happening when this all started. There was no way for Renarin to know before he made this bond that there was something different about his spren, basically. We've recruited several regular Truth Watchers at this point, and their powers seem a little bit different from Renarin's. So what does that mean? He could summon lights, but they did strange, unnatural things sometimes, which sounds freaky, and I want to know more about that.
There's always more questions about the freakiness.
Yeah. The Heavenly Ones tend to ignore civilians, which also nice. Appreciate it. Other groups of fused were more brutal, so I guess we're glad those aren't here. And here's Rushu, who's supposed to be cataloging the town's food supply, but is drawing or making notes about Windrunners. And Rushu actually kind of is noticing things, like there's too many Windrunners not fighting. There's something weird about this. And Navani's like, no, don't worry about that. Do what you're supposed to be doing. We found out it says Queen Yasna has released journals of her travels in Shadesmar. So they've all learned what happened to Yasna in Shadesmar. We haven't gotten to read that yet.
Yeah, where's our info about Shadesmar?
We have the book. We're just not reading it yet. They talk about the tower and how it doesn't work like it should. Maybe we need that bondsmith, but who knows? And then Rushu's like, still not focusing. And she's like, well, I'm trying to focus, but like, what's that guy over there doing? He's not guarding the ship. He's not helping with the refugees. He's not fighting. What's he doing? And then that's when Navani looks over and is like, oh, I recognize that guy. That's that fucker Moash, the traitor.
Boo.
And she's like, warn the others, Moash the traitor is here. I'm glad. See, it's a good thing Rushu wasn't paying enough attention, because, geez.
You gotta put some more stank on that, because she's real mad. She's like, warn them, the traitor's here.
I mean, yeah, the guy who murdered her son, she's pissed off. I would be too.
Yeah, it's like, and that's what I was saying before. It's like, there's a perfectly valid in-universe reason for this.
Yep. We go back to Kaladin, who fights with Leshwi some more. It's a very cool fight, but once again, we don't need a blow-by-blow. There's flying and slashing and dipping and dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge.
Yeah.
And then Kaladin hears the screaming. The City Lord's manor was on fire. What's going on? Most of the people have already gotten on the ship. The Edge Dancers are all back on board. But there's some people over by that burning manor. One of them is that big-ass dude with the hair clothes. What's he doing? And he's got the soldiers that Kaladin had sent away, and some of them are like attacking the townspeople. And he's pissed. Kaladin's like, what the... That's not kosher. And then Leshwi kind of gives him a look, like, or a gesture, like, no, go. Like, hey, deal with that guy.
Leshwi's just like, yeah, this guy's never heard of the Geneva Convention.
And so they have kind of an unofficial agreement between them that this fight was a draw. And he heads off to help the people, and that is the end of our chapters. So, for next time, we have 3 chapters, chapter 7, 8, and 9. And the titles of those chapters. Chapter 7 is The Rarest Vintage. Chapter 8 is Surrender. And chapter 9 is Contradictions. So, predicaments. Where are we going? What's going to happen? Like you guys said, this was a lot of these chapters was one big fight. And we seem to be in the back end of that fight. Stuff is starting to wrap up. but there's still things to be done. What do you guys think is going to happen? Where are we going?
Okay, so first one's the finest vintage. That'll be Shallan and Eli having their chat. Surrender is going to be Kaladin confronting Moash. Any bet? Is his name still Moash? Didn't Odium give him some other random name after he killed Jagian?
Yeah, his name is Vyre now.
Via. Oh my god, even that's just dramatic as. Ugh. He'd be like Moash is dead. I'm Via now. Kaladin's like, man, that's dramatic even for me. I don't see Moash surrendering. I think Moash can. This is going to be a weird sentence. I think Moash can be realistic about this, but as we've just seen, he killed the king of Alethkar. Kaladin's going to be like, surrender, we'll take you prisoner, and Moash is going to be like, they will execute me. Like, there is no jail time
Which they would,
for what
yeah.
I did. Like, surrender is a death sentence either way. So you, yeah, it's like, either way, you guys are gonna have to kill me. So, like, death it is. So yeah, it's gonna be a duel. I don't see Moash dying here, not this early in the book, unless I don't know. Maybe it's like he tries to kill Kaladin and then like fails, and this I don't know, this big bulky fused guy that Kaladin's got his rivalry with is just being like, actually, you still believe he's your friend. You're holding back against him, and Moash is like, no, I'm not. So yeah, there'll be a big bloody battle between them, but it's gonna like Moash is not gonna die during it, and I would be stunned if Kaladin died this early in the book.
That would be a twist,
Yeah, that would be shocking. And I feel like we would, like, knowing nothing about this book, but I feel like if Kaladin died at the start of this book, we'd have all heard of this book as like one of the most contentious of the Stormlight Archive. Those 1-star reviews would be fast and thick for this. Yeah, I don't really know where the confrontations are going. I feel like maybe Shallan is gonna she wants to take down Eli, but then Eli reveals the scope of her plans, and Shallan's like, oh, I've got to upset this, because if I take her out now, these plans will still proceed. I need to be able to be on the inside and stop this all from happening before I do the deed. So we'll see where that goes. I don't see Eli going out this early in the book either. So it's yeah, let's wait and see where this goes. But I've got nothing more than that.
Yeah, it might. I mean, we've had Eli as like a loose thread I mentioned before, but like a threat kind of in the background for a lot of this. So if she just kind of like died right at the beginning of the book, that would be a little bit like, oh, okay, I guess that was never going anywhere.
Like, she's a character, like, she's always been a threat, but because she's never been quite as an immediate threat as like the war going on, like, it's just harder to focus on her. That's why the whole investigation to who killed my husband last book just kind of fell by the wayside, because we got bigger problems right now. We'll come back to that. And then this is what happens when you just leave that threat to her own devices. She's just like, well, I'm now queen of the Shattered Plains. Flip the bird.
She declares herself monarch. Yeah. About Moash in the next, like, he's out here somewhere, right? They wouldn't have Navani see him just to lead to nothing. I will say, I'm tell you guys something going into the next chapters, because just about my personal feelings. So, I never liked Elhokar all that much personally when I read the books the first time. He rubbed me the wrong way, and I was not a fan of him. And so I didn't particularly like Moash, but nothing he did, even up to and including killing Elhokar, I was just like, he's like a jerk. But I didn't have strong feelings about him, really. Even after, at the end of book 2, when he like he fights Kaladin, it's kind of like,
kills.
I can see he tries to kill Kaladin. Yeah. I'm like, I can see from his viewpoint that he's got a legitimate grievance. And honestly, in Alethi society, fighting your best friend over a legitimate grievance and trying to kill them is not really that out of line from everything else that happens. So I did not have super strong feelings about Moash. Definitely not like Dak from meeting Moash practically was like, fuck this guy.
That's right. That was such a long time ago.
Even as the fandom developed their whole like fuck Moash like a lot of people were on board that train already. I was just like, whatever. These next 3 chapters that you guys are going to read, this is when I got on board.
Oh,
Fuck Moash.
really?
Like, I was just like, no, fuck this guy. I hate him. So
Some heavy bad Moash stuff coming up, huh?
Okay. What is he?
Mm.
What could he possibly do? Because like, he can't take
And
out Dalinar. I'd be surprised if he took out Navani. What could he do? Does he kill Lirin?
well, and I wanted, I don't.
Read the book, Jack.
I just dropped the big hint. I'm trying to process this.
I don't want it to feel like I'm dropping a giant spoiler for you guys because with how I react to books, it doesn't even have to be that big a thing if it was the right kind of thing to be like, oh no, screw that. Like the bridge 4 salute he gives to Kaladin in the last book, that's like almost there. That's
that was pretty
fuck
shitty.
this guy.
Yeah.
But it could be something that small that just like puts me over the edge, but this is the moment that it happens for me. So I'll be interested to see what you guys say when we come back. But that is as much as I will say.
I am processing this and trying to think what he could possibly do to tip that over now. What is he? Does he kill a child or something? It's like, oh no!
I mean,
does he go after Kaladin's little
I
brother?
don't feel like.
Oh,
I like how
That was it for
you
you, Jack.
got there. You're like, does he kill a child? And you're like, wait, we know a child. Fuck. Yeah,
child in the vicinity.
that would be. That's my. I feel like that was my moment for Anakin Skywalker when he goes and fucking kills all of the younglings. I was like, no, this guy is beyond redemption. Like, fuck whatever happens at the end of Return of the Jedi. You don't get to come back from slaughtering a bunch of innocent children. No. But I don't know how George Lucas ever thought he could get away with that. Is like, I'll have him kill a bunch of children, but it's still okay because he turns on the Emperor like 3 movies later. No, we've gone too far at this point. But sorry,
it's not it's I think we've talked about this in other like literary and film works. It's like just because they have a moment where they change like what they do, or they've got this other motivating factor, it's like does not make up for the other stuff. It's like it's not there's not a full redemptive arc there. Like you could, like right now I'm watching through Angel and Buffy, and the whole plot line of the Angel show is like he's trying to make up for how awful he was as a soulless vampire, which is something you could argue was done to him.
Yeah.
And so is he completely responsible for all the things he did when he was a soulless vampire? In some, maybe not. But like, the whole series is him trying to like earn a redemption for all that stuff he did. So it's like, it's different from like this person had this one moment before they died or before the end of the story that redeemed them. It's like, no, they really didn't.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about the Vader example is like, yes, absolutely. Like it's very hard to read it as like you're redeemed for everything you ever did. But the flip side is he finally he did free the galaxy from the Emperor's influence, and so like while you can't forgive him on a personal level, you can accept that in the end he did something good. Even it might not redeem what he did and what he was instrumental in creating, but at least we got something good out of it, I guess. You don't forgive
but
the guy.
even that is overshadowed by the next trilogy where it's like, oh no, the Emperor's still there.
I mean, you can't blame Vader for that. But
you can't blame him for that. I'm just saying, like, it's just not really what happens.
I honestly think I took like the Men in Black memory erase device and used it on myself to get rid of Rise of Skywalker because I barely remember a damn thing about that movie. I just remember disliking it so much.
Yeah, well, and we talked about it with Snape too. You're right, where it's just like you can do good things. It doesn't make up for being an asshole like the whole rest of the time.
But you can accept like the result of their actions at the end. At least we got the good outcome out of it.
Yeah. Although you could argue that that's like the story of Yu Yu Hakusho. It's like he was an asshole his whole life, and then he saved a kid, and then he becomes a spirit detective. It's like, okay, well, it's whatever.
But yeah, it's the thing with Vader. Sorry, I'm still going back to it because the thing with Vader is like somehow with the Force that made it okay because he gets to return as like a good Force ghost in the final.
Right.
And I was like, I guess the Force doesn't make moral judgments like weighing things like that, although the Force explicitly has a good side and a bad side, so there is some sort of inherent moral judgment. I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's writing. It's sci-fi writing. What are you gonna do?
It's it's a sci-fi opera. It's what it is.
Anyway, we've gone far afield from that. But yes, like I said, I will be interested to hear what you guys think of that when we come back next week.
Well, I was going to say maybe we won't see more of Moash in the immediate future, but I guess that's out of the
I ruined that for you.
water
Sorry.
now. No, that's okay. I agree. I think we're going to pick things up with Ili Sadius. I think that I would agree with Dak as well. There's no way she's been taken out yet. I think we've had that little bomb drop that they've got a source close to Dalinar. I feel like Shallan and co will need to investigate that, and maybe that's where because she's going to have to spend more time as her undercover, maybe that's where we'll have Adolin pick things up back at Irithiru, because I can't hazard a guess at the moment to who would be in that camp. I feel like it's probably from the drama perspective, I'd probably like it to be someone we already have been introduced to, but is maybe not one of our main sort of story characters. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I feel like that's probably where this is gonna have to go at first. That was enough to make Shallan go, "Wait, I'm not who you think I am." But she's already kind of realized that she's gonna have to spend more time in the camps. So she's not going to be able to be the one that does that. But Islay, I think, is going to say something or do say. It's even, I feel like it's going to have to stop Vale in her tracks and see what happens there. Yeah, I think then we have to sort of come back to where Kaladin's at and the fire, and Roshone is Roshone over there. What's happening there? I'm not don't know yet, but yeah, it's a little bit early to look at the big picture of what's happening. Yeah, that's probably all I've got.
I like what you're saying about it reminds me of when in Well of Ascension when we were looking for who is the Khandra imposter, where it was like it would make sense for it to be somebody that we've met that is kind of close to the main group, but enough outside that they're not a main character, which is why Daemu came under suspicion and stuff. So now it's like we've got another Khandra hunt happening. Maybe the spy is a Khandra.
Maybe.
It's time for Secret Khandra.
Secret Khandra. Yeah, it's about time we get there. Ulan, where you at, bud? Yeah, I don't know who it could be, but I'm on the lookout.
Now that we've gotten that hint dropped, yep. Now we all have to be on the lookout. Fair.
Is it? Is it Rushu not watching or watching things they're not supposed to be watching?
Oh, I would be sad if Rushu was the traitor. She's so fun.
That would be the worst.
Counterpoint. Or the counter suggestion. This is the one lie the Sons of Honor are really good at. They don't actually have anyone, but
yeah, they just want to sow the seed of doubt, which is entirely possible.
Yeah, it's totally possible they would lie about that. But from their perspective, they said that because Shallan is like, I have an inn close to Dalinar, and I could give you secrets about what he's doing. And they're like, no, we already have that. We're not interested in what you said. Which, if they didn't,
yeah, fair point.
Then just brushing that off seems like a bad idea.
Okay, volcano theory. Ili is also a light weaver.
Oh,
and has taken out someone and is masquerading as someone else, which is why she's not always at the Sons of Honor things.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But that would be exactly like Secret Khandra. Oh my gosh, we're getting closer and closer.
It would be, yeah.
It's been a while since we had a good old rousing case of secret bad guy.
Fair.
Always on the lookout, though.
Yeah, maybe it's still Navani. We don't know. Can we really trust that one completely?
I think we can, but there's a lot going on with Navani. I'm really looking forward to seeing more from her viewpoint in this book and learning more about her backstory.
I enjoy being in Navani's head in these chapters. She's an interesting character that we haven't seen nearly enough of, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we gonna? Yeah, I like Dak and Jamie's stuff. What are we gonna see next? What are we gonna? Well, I think we're still knee deep kind of in this battle, and then we've also got the Shallan stuff. So I agree. There's gonna be some Ili, Shallan stuff possibly going on. I like the idea that Ili somehow has got more power than what we have understood her to have in the past. That'd be really interesting. I think what we're going to see directly, seeing as how there's going to be some kind of confrontation between, like a face-to-face between Shallan and Iali. We're going to see something go on there. Will it be a full-on like assassination attempt? I don't think so. I think there's going to be some more kind of like intel gathering before that takes place. I'm interested to see how Aelin reacts when he realizes like Shallan's not with that other group that they've captured. Is he going to be like, wait, where'd she go? Or, you know, what that reaction is going to be like. And as far as what's going on, we know that the manor house is on fire. We know there were still people in there. We know there's a fuse to fight. So I assume that Kaladin's going to fight that fuse guy. He's going to try to save people from the manor. And maybe that's where Moash will show up, causing issues with him trying to like rescue people. Because if Data's saying he's going to show up, he's going to do something bad. I could imagine like being in Hearthstone, doing some bad stuff where Kaladin's from. It's not going to be nice. Yeah, as for overall like where we're going in the story, I think we're too early for me to make like good predicaments about that. But I think more specifically, I think, you know, we're going to see some kind of conflict between Kaladin and Moash, and going to see some kind of face off between Iali and Shallan as well. So that's really all I've got. Nothing super specific this week.
I mean, that's a solid, given that she just walked into the room and Iali's in there. I think that's a good bet that we'll see some sort of, confrontation here. Whether or not, we don't know how in the know Iali really is. Will she be fooled by Shallan? Will she see through whatever's going on immediately? That sort of, well, and how much say does Vale get in what Shallan's about to do? This confrontation could go a lot of different ways, and so it'll be interesting to see which way, for sure. But yeah, good possibilities, and we know that, like you said, Kaladin is heading towards the manor. We know that there's people trapped there. We know Rashon was headed that way, I think Dak mentioned. So there's lots of things that could happen that Moash could get involved in here. All right, let's move into, we'll do a couple of quick emails before we wrap up. We don't have any new patrons. First one is from Aldhad, who's written us a few times. This one is called Risen and the Lopen. Hey, DJ D&J. This one will be a shorter email, but in the recent episode, you discussed why the Lopen did heal and Risen didn't. Well, like you mentioned, there's likely a difference between getting the power directly as opposed to through a radiant. But I think that the other part, perception, is the bigger part here. When the Lopen gets stuck to a wall in Words of Radiance, he says something like, "My other hand is making a rude gesture at you," which I would interpret as the Lopen saying, "I didn't lose my hand, it's just in a different place." Risen, on the other hand, laments her situation in Oathbringer, and we see her thinking how she lost the ability to walk. So, yeah, that's my opinion. Hope you're all doing well. Wasn't to the time of next. Colo even adds to the cups here. So
Nice.
Thank you. We did talk about how, there are those two camps, and it could be some more of one, more of the other, somewhere in between. But Lopen is definitely weird enough to have had a different mental state about this than other people do, even for long periods of time. So I buy it. Okay, let's do this next one. It's called References, and it's from Gabor. Dear Sanderlanche crew, I just listened to your final episode of Tress. At the end, you guys talked about how jarring it can be if there are lots of references that you don't get, such as from The Mandalorian. It occurred to me that your show is exactly like this.
True.
I haven't watched Futurama and only saw a few Star Wars movies. I barely get any of your references. However, I'm still coming back for more. It doesn't bother me. I love your content. Anyways, I guess everyone has different levels of tolerance for this kind of thing. Keep up the awesome work. Gabor from Hungary.
Well, you make a valid point, sir, and I had not considered that, so thank you for giving me something to think about. I guess the flip side would be you don't need to understand the Futurama references to understand the Sanderson stuff we're talking about, so that'd be the difference.
Well, I guess that's true. It's like less story and more just like random joke, and then you can move on.
Yeah.
That's fair. I do love that Dak is absolutely front and center with the references, and also with the I don't like stuff where I don't get the references, and so they're just like,
Yep. No.
I hate to break it to you.
Yeah, no, that is an entirely fair observation, and like I said, that's given me a lot to think about.
Oh, it's funny. Also, there's a PS here. Can you share your analytics regarding Hungary? Because Gabor is from Hungary. So, sure, I love looking at analytics. Let's take a quick peek.
Data's like
peeky
numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been a while since we did a stats portion.
Yeah. Okay, so let's look here. I'm going to look at our last year, our last 12 months. United States still at the top. Canada, United Kingdom, Germany, Australia, Netherlands, Norway, Sweden. Let's see if Hungary's anywhere on this list. Hungary is pretty far down this list with, for the last 12 months, 175 downloads from Hungary. I don't know if it won't give me any more specific information than that. So it makes up 0.11% of our audience, which is more than Egypt, but less than Bulgaria.
Righto.
Take that, Egypt.
Let's see.
Be better than Hungary.
I mean, it's also beating Hong Kong and Peru and stuff. Let's see. What is it not? Where are we getting better numbers than that? Saudi Arabia, Nigeria, Greece, Finland, Ireland, Poland, Singapore, South Africa.
What's
trying to see if there's any.
What's bottom of the list? What's the lowest country on the list?
Okay, going all the way down, there are several where we have one, including one that says unknown. There's one from Vanuatu, which is a small Pacific nation.
Yep.
One from Togo and Somalia and Sierra Leone and Sudan and Macedonia. The Faroe Islands and Fiji, all ones. Antigua and Barbuda and Azerbaijan.
Wow.
So, yeah, there you go. And Afghanistan, one. So,
Right.
There's one person in all these countries downloaded, just went, "This is shit," and didn't go again.
Probably, yeah. Like we have two from Iran and Rwanda and the Cayman Islands, so beating out Fiji and the U.S. Virgin Islands. We also have one from the U.S. Virgin Islands. So
maybe some of these are people on holiday listening.
Could be,
yeah,
or it could
One
be
download
like
or traveling.
could be people who use like VPNs and reset to be from different places.
Yeah, that's also possible.
I have no idea what this is. It says we have 4 downloads from something called XK. What is?
As in the
XK?
letters?
Oh, that is Kosovo. Kosovo is
okay.
Country code XK. So all right,
There you go.
Yeah. So we've got there's a little bit of Hungary in there. You're beating out on lots of places like Nepal and Russia. We only have 44 from Russia, so we're not doing well there. But sorry, yeah, like Vietnam and Switzerland and stuff are beating you. Sorry, Hungary. That's been our stats moment for this episode. I love those, so I'm always happy to take a look. Let's do one more.
We'll check back in another few months.
Right, exactly. Let's do one more quick email. We'll wrap. This one is from. It says, "Hi, Snot Ninja here. You were talking about the King Lopen book recently. I've not been able to get my hands on it, but I'd love for you to cover it, especially since I don't think I will get my hands on it anytime soon. I will say that I just saw a post today saying that they're sold out on the Dragonsteel website of the book, and that's the only current place to get it is a physical copy from their website. And there were many people on Reddit complaining that they could no longer get it, and then other people being like, it was available. I bought it a month ago, so clearly you haven't been trying for that long. Like people are like, I've been trying forever to get this book, and it's never in stock. And they're like, it was just last month. I don't think you've been trying that long. Anyway. But I know that for international people, especially, only being able to get it from the US and having to ship it is, that's pricey for such a small book. So I don't blame you. Snot Ninja continues, but I know I'm a font of bad opinion. I'm a Moash apologist. As long as the character is alive, Brandon can find a way to redeem them. From Moash's perspective, he's been consistent. My big argument is to compare him to Dalinar. Imagine a book about some singer children who grew up with Moash as their parent and see an honorable, honest Moash raising them. They don't understand why he looks at himself as the worst. And then in flashbacks, you get the story that you didn't know up until now.
Why is Moash adopting singer children?
I know, right? That's like, okay, if you say so.
Is Moash running an orphanage?
Could be. Maybe that's why that's what's revealed in the next chapter that really pissed me off. Like, they're letting this guy raise kids? No way.
Just picturing Moash like running an orphanage, chasing around after these listener kids, just like, no, don't touch that, put that down.
We know too much about raising tiny children to, it's anyway. My biggest comparison and complaint is that Dalinar sold his pain and then without it grew and learned to accept it. Moash tried to sell his pain but failed. And somehow we love Dalinar for it, but hate Moash for similar actions. I mean, I guess you're not wrong. Dalinar found a way to get rid of his pain. Moash did too, except it was by saying, like, it's not my fault.
Yeah, I think even like the whole thing is like Dalinar was an alcoholic because he realized he realized it was his fault. He did that,
Mhm.
and that's why he sold his pain. Like Moash, regardless of what he does, he's never once accepted the responsibility. There's your difference. Like even before like Dalinar grew as a person and grew to accept it and everything else, like no, he accepted he was at fault.
Yeah.
If Moash, at the end of this book, was able to turn around and go, I did the wrong thing, I made the wrong call, and then took accountability of his actions, can he be redeemed in your eyes, Dak?
I'd have to see it happen, I guess. Potentially, but I don't see it happening, quite frankly. But it's possible.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like that's always been one of my biggest complaints about the guy is like he's just like, I'm not responsible. He takes no responsibility for anything that he's done wrong. If he was like,
Mhm.
it is my fault, I messed up, and I'm gonna take responsibility for it and try to do better, I feel like that I could see like, maybe a redemption arc could happen here personally. But then again, I pointed out earlier, I never hated him as much as Dak did. So
Yeah, and let's be clear, my hatred was irrational from the start. I hated him before he really did anything wrong. He was just kind of a jerk, and it
100%. Yep.
So like, once again, I'll be the first to admit it's like I carry this one further for the sake of comedy, and two further because like I disliked him before he actually did anything wrong. Let's be honest.
I was recently listening to people reading the Well of Ascension for the first time, and they were actually big fans of Alrian, and it just made me go, "Oh man, see, there's Jamie's
Whoa.
irrational hatred character is Alrian." Everyone gets one.
Oh yeah.
Okay, sorry. He's got a couple points to make about the biggest reasons people hate Moash. First, Elokar. And he says, I never liked Elokar. And while he was on the path to redemption, he died before he got there, so F him. He was a horrible king who was directly responsible for Moash's pain.
Oh, he died before he got his redemption, so F him. Well, look how the tables have turned now.
I know that does kind of speak against, yeah, okay. And then the betrayal of Kaladin. Well, from Moash's perspective, Kaladin was the betrayer. He was on board until the last minute. This hurts us as readers because Kaladin is the protagonist and Moash is not. Which, also true, I feel like when the thing he was on board with was betraying his oaths and he decides that he can't do that, it kind of casts it in a different light.
You betrayed the betrayers. Oh.
And the last one is killing Yezrian. At this point, almost everything after is simply chalking it up to a soldier in an army, and the people he kills are strategic kills of the enemy. So I can agree with that at least. Like, it was in no way personal for Moash to kill Yezrian. His new bosses were like, "Go kill this guy you don't know," and he was like, "All right."
Yeah, it was like, kill this dude. He's a drunken wreck, and I was like, "All right." So, jerk move, yes, absolutely, but like not like I wouldn't say it's anything particularly damning.
Yeah, we don't have that much of a connection to Yezrian anyway. Like, we've heard legends about him or whatever, but
I mean, to be fair, actually, Yezrian was the one who like proposed the idea of let's abandon the Oath Pact and leave town to damnation for 4.5 millennia. So you know what, stuff that guy.
Yeah, okay, fair. Yeah, F that guy.
Doesn't make me like Moash more, but I'm also just like I don't lament the loss.
It's also arguable, though, that there's something even worse about Moash has chosen to be on the Singer side of this war. Fine, they have a legitimate grievance we've talked about, right? So you side with them. I'm actually fine with that. And they're like, go kill this strategic enemy for us. I'm also fine with that. It makes a lot of sense. Killing an enemy in a war, especially an important one, if you get the chance, sure. Killing a guy who is literally doing nothing except sitting around and getting drunk, like, poses no threat to anyone actively, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, he was a non-combatant at this point, and maybe he used to be a general. He's not anymore. I don't know.
That's like Avatar: The Last Airbender. They went into that. They hunted down someone who turned out to be a retired general.
That guy was a jerk too, though.
He was.
Yeah. Take my mother. We can be even. Fuck that guy. Anyway, that's enough of this. We have a bunch of emails left, but we'll save them for next time. To everyone sending us emails, if you want to send us an email, the address is thesanderlanch@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram and Facebook and places on the internet, including Patreon, where I'm still putting up my reactions as I read through Moment Zero for the first time. So if you're interested in that, check that out. After that, assuming nothing new comes out by Brandon, I'll move back to Dragonsteel Prime and talk about that. So check out our Patreon if you're interested in that sort of thing. And if you join our Patreon, Joe will assign you a faring power, and you can have ferrochemical power. And if you want to leave us a 5-star review on the platform of your choice, then send us a screenshot of that at our email address, thesanderlanch@gmail.com. Joe will assign you a misting power. And if you do both, you can be a twinborn and super cool. Remember, we are doing 3 more chapters for next time. That was chapters 7, 8, and 9. If you're following along, read those 3 chapters. Find out what Moash does that pissed me off. And come back next week to hear us talking about it. 3 chapters for next time. Music by Miracle of Sound. And Wasing to the Time of Next. Colo, P.S. Vasher. Haha, I'm Sil. To the cups.
burden that is shared is much easier to bear. We will not fall to despair this darkest day. Whatever comes our way, whatever